Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I am your host Maxine and we're on episode 55. All right, so let's give a little update. So I've always been transparent on this podcast, and there was a moment in time when I felt like, shit, should I have said that? But I'm gonna keep it real still. But let me just explain why I felt like that. So a few episodes ago, I was like talking about Boston Bay, and I was saying how why the fuck am I still here? Like, I was like talking to myself about like, why am I still dealing with the dude who isn't pleasuring me the way I need to be pleasured in order for me to experience pleasure? Okay? Because every time we do engage, he gets off and I'm just like, okay, where's my portal? Where's my getting offness? And so as usual, I would post like little highlight clips on my Instagram stories, to bring engagement. And I just like doing that, right? Of course, nigga happens to review that Instagram story and was like giving me that emoji. That emoji where you're like scratching your head and one eye is closed? Like, nigga, what are you pensive about, nigga? And so I felt like, oh shit, let me just like cough up. I don't want to say, because I was obviously talking about him, but he may think, oh, I'm also talking about another dude. I'm not dealing with anybody right now, as y'all know, but it's just been like, okay, let me just let him know. Yeah, I do talk about you sometimes, whatever. And like, we had this it was just a quick moment. It wasn't anything serious. We kind of laughed about it. He laughed about it. It wasn't that big of a deal. But it made me uncomfortable in that moment, just thinking like, oh man, I wonder if he listens to my podcast. And what's funny about that is I never really thought about that. Like, I never even considered that could be a possibility. Like, what? Obviously, he knows I have a podcast. He has seen me produce clips and, broadcast it on my Instagram many times before. So for me to suddenly be like, oh shit, he's gonna listen. Oh, he actually saw this or listened to this part. I don't know if he listened to the whole episode. We didn't talk about it since, but it was just a quick moment that made me feel a little uncomfortable. And it made me worry, like, oh, wait, do I not keep it real with y'all like I have been just because, oh, he might put two and two together? Nigga, I'm not saying your name. Anyway, I came to the conclusion that, so what? That's my conclusion. So what? Okay? I feel like on my platform, this is my platform, this is my baby, I get to release my feelings the way that I do. I get to do so in my unfiltered way. This is not politically correct. This is not to save or, trigger warn. And like, this is my experience that I get to release in the way that works best for me in that moment. So I don't want to suddenly change how I am speaking or what I share. Of course, I may not share every little detail, and maybe I will at some point if I feel moved to in the moment. So I say all that to say, I'm gonna share something else about him. I still hope that he doesn't listen. But look, if I happen to be listening back to this podcast and listen to this episode and I realize, ooh, this is a great highlight I could highlight into my Instagram stories to promote engagement, I'm gonna do it. And let's just run the risk of him listening to it. Either way, it's my experience. I feel like I should not have to now just change it up to comfort his ego. So yeah. Anyway, and I don't even know where we are right now because I haven't spoken to him in like a few days. So what the fuck? At this point, all's fair, right? Okay, so I had an impromptu trip that allowed me to go out of state, and it was covered by him. It was covered by him, by his initiative. He wanted to see me. I wanted to see him. And so he made it happen. And it literally happened in a matter of like 10 hours. I was already on a flight to go see him. And that was that. But the problem I have with it, thinking back, and even during the trip, I realized, man, maybe I should have never came, is it was originally, and it was a trip primarily for the celebration of one of his boys, his birthday, and him just being out with his niggas, okay? And, you know, these niggas are hood. I am not hood. I don't engage in marijuana. I don't care for it. Now, I'm not judgmental about it anymore. I have been in the past. I could admit that. But I just don't care for it. Whatever. I know, like, he clearly engages in it, and that's fine for him, I guess. But it's just like, in that space when I was hanging out with him, it felt so excessive to me that, oh, these are your niggas. Like, it just felt like, wow, I don't know if I can deal with it. Like, I don't know. Like, he's still the same dude, but you know how when you're around your dude's friends and you're trying to see, oh, do I fit in here or do I not? And he's already told me that he has different groups of friends. So, like, that group of friends that I was around, they're the niggas that he grew up with, you know, been through some shit with, like trauma with, you know, niggas, hood niggas. And he has another group of friends that he told me about that are more refined, adult, like, you know, kind of well put together and conservative in some ways. And I wish I was with them. But look, it's an experience and I'm still respectful. I still try to make the best of it. But there was a moment when I was walking with him and we entered a bar space to meet up with his crew. And including in his crew were some girls that were there. And I guess they were hood as fuck too. But I just don't understand why some people have to be or have to appear unapproachable. Like, my go-to is to smile. My go-to is to lighten up the mood with a smile. A smile really goes a long way. And when I was entering the room, there was no smiles. Like, not one person smiled at me. Like, it was just like, is this the right room? Yeah, am I with the right crew? Like, hello, excuse me, who is he? Like, what's going on? It just felt so weird. And there were a few girls there who didn't really give me eye contact, had a stank face on. And I'm just like, okay, you know, and I'm trying to pep talk myself thinking, okay, I can only control myself. I can only control my aura and my energy. So despite the energy that I'm feeling in this moment, I'm going to still be my best self not even until I'm tried, but like, if I'm tried, then, you know, we'll cross that bridge. But I'm still going to put my best foot forward and be as positive as I am. So I'm entering the room, my smile's on. It's just like awkward. No one's really saying much. It's just like, no one's really making eye contact. Like, I didn't just walk in. And I felt overdressed too because the initial plan was for us to go to this restaurant, like a fancy restaurant, like a little steakhouse restaurant. And then we ended up at a bar. I'm just like, oh, so I wore my lace dress for what? Or I put on my makeup for what? And I don't know if I really share this with y'all, but I really don't like to get dressed. Like, I really could care less about getting dressed, getting fancy, putting on makeup. Like, oh my gosh, if I could not wear makeup and it'd be cool with everybody, I would do that. Because that's how much I care less about it. It's not like I don't like how I look with makeup, but I like how, the end result of makeup is, but the process of taking the makeup off is what I dread. And I always take off my makeup before I go to sleep. That's just what I always do. Hell, even when I am on my way home from said event, I may have makeup wipes or my micellar water and cotton wipes in my purse and start removing makeup on. And then when I get home, I'll wash it off completely with my face wash and face routine. But I just hate the process of that. Like, I just wish, like, I could have snapped my fingers and makeup's on and then boom, makeup's off. Anyway, I say all that to say I got dressed up. I got dolled up, put my face on, had a nice cute beat just to be at a fucking Hooters type of bar. Like, oh, what are we doing here? Like, is this the right establishment? And then just to enter the establishment, to which I find people who are not approachable. Most of them. There were one or two. There was one man in particular, one of his nigga friends, whatever, staring at me up and down. We greeted. I think we gave it. Yeah, we exchanged handshakes. He's like, I don't know if he was high or what. It's just like, he just wasn't present. And I'm just like, hi, I'm Maxine, introducing, being my full self. To not be received is not a great feeling. Like, don't you guys, I just hate that. Like, you walk into a room in which you're the only new person. Like, you don't know anybody else here except the nigga who you came with. And everyone is like, not like, most of the people there are not really welcoming or engaging, and you're just sitting there like, well, okay. And you don't want to be looked at as, look at this stink ass bitch who just walked in with no attitude, who didn't say anything to anybody. I never want to be that person. So despite their unwelcoming aura, I still painted on a smile. I still painted on a welcoming face, but it still wasn't received. So I'm just like, oh, did you fuck one of these bitches? Like, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. And then he's not much of a, my nigga, he's not much of a, charismatic person. He gets high and then he just kind of sits back. And it's like, okay, why am I here? I don't know. It just felt so uncomfortable. So that trip was just like not the best. I could just honestly say that. I don't want him to hear this, honestly. But I don't know. We haven't talked in like a few days. And that's just us being us again. It's him being weird and me not putting up with the bullshit. And okay, he'll hit me up at one point and then we're back at it again. I don't know. I noticed though, when we were in our hotel room, or when I was in his hotel room, he was just like, I don't know. I felt like he has a time limit to how sociable he could be. I hope that's making sense. I feel like he has a time limit to how sociable he can be, and that's with anyone. And that's not an exception to me, right? So he was sociable. The first half of the day, we go to sleep, we wake up, and I'm still in a good mood, or I'm still in a cool mood or whatever, I asked him about, oh, do you have any snacks? That was a trigger. That was a fucking trigger. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? So I asked that question and he's like, no. Like, instantly, what was that? Jekyll Hyde mode. He brings it up again while he gets up and he's talking about, why would you ask if I have snacks? You know damn well I don't have no snacks. Just like going off. I'm just like, oh, okay. A no will be just fine. That's sufficient. And he's the type to quickly, he's not self-conscious. He's not aware of how he comes off. He's not aware of his tone. He's not aware of how quickly he goes from 0 to 100. And it's not okay. Like, that shit is exhausting. And in that moment, I felt that exhaustion instantly within my body. I felt myself feeling exhausted just by that moment. And I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, is this it? Like, this is not what I want. Like, I don't want to be with someone or be in the space, because we're not boyfriend and girlfriend or anything, but like, I don't want to be in the space with someone who I have to feel like I'm walking on eggshells because he may go from 0 to 100 because I asked him if he has any motherfucking snacks. What? I don't know. It was just a moment that I just thought to myself, like, that was like crazy. Like, it wasn't even that deep. It wasn't even like I just asked a question. And I'm like, damn, am I that greedy or am I that hungry? Like, it was just a fucking question. I don't know. Maybe you put something in your bag earlier before you picked me up and you could have said, oh, I had some Lay's left over. You want some? Cool. Oh, no, I don't. Or then he got into this whole spiel. You want me to go to the store and then come back? That's going to be out of my way. I'm like, whoa. All I asked if you had any snacks. Obviously, I don't have no snacks, Maxine. Like, whoa. What? Like, what? Can we just rewind and go back to the point where you got mad? Like, why? What? And that just makes me wonder, like, why does it take for something so small, so trivial to tick you off, and then I'm instantly annoyed because no, you're not gonna speak to me that way. And then when I give him attitude back, it's like, you don't have to have attitude, Max. I'm like, you just had an attitude with me though. No, I didn't. No, and then there goes that whole gaslighting thing again with this nigga. I don't know. It's like when we go to step 20. we're high on that step 20, and then boom, we go back to step 7. Like, nigga, I'm just tired. I'm tired of these 13 steps in between us, you know. And I've said, you know, every time we do every time we do rekindle, every time we do reconcile, there is a level of progression that we reach with each other and that I see within him. But we've been dealing with each other for like 4 years now, and I'm tired of that. Like, I'm tired of we'll be high one moment and then we'll be low and then we'll be high again. It's just this roller coaster that I don't care to emotionally invest myself in anymore. You know I said before that, you know, I want to be courageous in love, or I want to open myself up emotionally to receive love, despite the risk that love has. You know, you could be hurt or you could be loved back, whatever. All these things, I would think to myself, like, wow, I would really like to experience the fullness of love. But then when I am encountered with moments like that, when I'm instantly shut down by a moment that was uncalled for, it just makes me close right back up. Pussy gets dry real quick. And I'm like, no, nigga, I'm good. Like, I'm fine with keeping my emotions to a closed. Like, it is only available from sun up to halfway of the day. Like, I'm totally fine with that. Like, that is my comfort space. And I know I wanted to be courageous in love and open myself to it, but I'm not interested in that. Like, I'm not interested in being courageous with someone who can't provide me with the emotional stability that I need in order to feel safe when I'm with you. I want to feel like I could have a conversation with you and you not go completely left on me, you know? And then when I address you with the same emotion you give me, oh, I'm the one with the attitude. And then there's that whole gaslighting thing. Don't make me feel like I'm crazy and that I forced it when, nigga, I'm giving you the same energy back. So I just, I don't know. I say all that to say, fuck these niggas still. And that's that. That's the tweet. Just exhausting. Like, I just can't. And then, so like, okay, the trip ends. But I was there for like a couple of hours, whatever. The trip ends. I let him know when I make it home. You know, we like barely talked when I arrived back to Houston. And really, like, I think I did open up a conversation like the day after I arrived, talking about like, oh, you know, what are your plans for New Year's Eve or New Year's period? And, you know, he told me it. He already had plans with his family or whatnot. And it was just like, I don't know. I guess in that moment, I wanted him to maybe include me, or I wanted him to like include me into his plan, whether it was his plan to have me with him to his initial family plan, or we make our separate plan together. I wanted some type of inclusion. And when I wasn't getting that, it was like, okay, all right, never mind, nigga, never mind. I don't know. It just, whatever. Whatever. I've been down this fucking rodeo. Let's see how long this fucking lasts. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting with him. And I know, like, I'm just exhausted talking about it, because it's like, I do see potential, but I also don't feel like waiting longer. Like, nigga, when are you going to get the emotional healing that you need? Or when are you going to take the emotional responsibility that you need to in moments like that? You know, why is it that it's just me who is a little bit more mature in some ways, and I have my ways, of course, don't get me wrong. It's just exhausting. You know, you ever been with somebody and it's like, damn, I'm exhausted. Like, I can't do this every day. And we was just together for like a couple of hours. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh no. And I think that's why it's worked out for us throughout the years, because we haven't been with each other like that. Like, we haven't been up under each other. We haven't been with each other every single day, you know, all the years that we've known each other. So it's been cool to disconnect and have our space. But eventually, when I am in a monogamous, loving relationship, I want to feel full with you. I want to feel excited to be in your presence and not exhausted because, oh, I gotta walk on eggshells with you. So, I don't know. I say all that to say, you know, where the other niggas at? I need to open myself up to something else. In the meantime, maybe in the meantime, in between time, see what else is out there. And I don't even like doing that, honestly, because everybody's exhausted. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, I don't want to do anything anymore. And it's like, oh, well, mama, how are you gonna, meet people if you don't? I don't know. I don't know. God's gonna have to figure it out, because I'm done. Shit, the niggas out here too are just like, what? What are y'all doing? Okay, no. I'm not interested. Like, I don't know. A lot of hood niggas out here too. A lot of unavailable dudes or men who are just not, who I just don't vibe with. Like, I want to have fun with you. That's what it is. I want to have fun with you, and not just like on a, and when I say fun, I'm not saying, oh, I want it to be a non-serious, very casual type of thing. No, we could have a serious, or we could progress into having a serious relationship, right? But I want to still be able to have a good time with you. I want to enjoy your company. I want you to enjoy my company. When I think about you, I get excited because, wow, we had a good time that other time. And not because of the experience that we have, but because of who the person is and the energy that we match. Like, I want to laugh with you. I want to, I want my stomach to hurt so much because I've been laughing so hard with you. And I've only made that connection with 2 people, 2 men in my life. I've only made that connection with. So it's like, okay. And 2 of them didn't include him. So it just makes me like, damn, it's rare. I could get along with pretty much anybody, but when I really feel that connection with somebody, it's rare. So when I do feel it with somebody, it's like, wow, I want to see where this could go. But first of all, where are you? But then again, I'm good with, keeping the wall up. I'm fine with that. Anyway, I say all that to say, here we go again. Okay, I want to talk about my anxiety because a bitch is anxious. Like, genuine, so anxious. I don't even understand my body anymore. Like, it's to the point where I don't even know how to explain myself to people without sounding crazy. I had a whole anxiety attack just a few days ago. And I don't even, I understand how it got to that point, but I don't understand how it keeps on happening. Like, it's a reoccurring thing with me. I want to say once every other week. Once every other week, I get this panic in my chest, and the panic is usually triggered by whether it's financial issues, whether it's worry of keeping it all together. Like, I have these worries that come up in my head about what if I can't, and it's all rooted in finances. And it's about like, okay, what if I don't have enough for this? Or what if I can't make this on time? Or what if I won't be able to sustain myself and I have to move out of my lovely apartment? And what if I just feel like everything's crumbling and that the world is falling apart and I can't survive and I'm gonna just collapse. Like, it's so irrational when I think about it. When I'm outside of my anxiety infused coma, I feel like my chest is tightening. I feel a hysteria rising up. And I don't know how to explain it to someone who I feel like, 1, won't judge me, 2, who won't understand. Like, it's one thing when someone is compassionate, yes, but I want to talk to somebody who knows what the fuck I'm talking about, and who could help me better describe what I'm feeling or the triggers that bring me to that anxiety infused coma. And you might be thinking right now, well, just, go, you need to get some therapy. Go get therapy. That shit's hard. First of all, I don't even know, or I think it is, but not every clinic offers. Well, okay, here's the thing. There are spaces that do accept health insurance, but there is a copay, one, and two, it's only for a certain amount of visits. I gotta do more research to see exactly for my plan to see how that is. But generally, that's what I've heard and that's what I've learned about healthcare supported therapy services. Okay. Now, there are therapy sessions that obviously don't accept health insurance, but then their services are like $150 a pop. And I'm not saying it's not worth the investment. It is. I think mental health is definitely worth it, but that adds on more to my anxiety. Like, oh, now I got to budget in $150 a month, depending on how many sessions I get with that $150. What if it's going to be more than $150? And everything is just, I just feel like I can't control everything. And it's the lack of control that brings me, and just think about it right now, honestly, is getting me anxious. Like, talking about it right now is not really helping. I need to talk it out to get it out, but talking it out is not helping all the time. Okay? I was on the phone with my cousin a few days ago. After calling and trying to figure out how can I best manage myself, because I'm at fucking work right now. Not right now as I'm recording this, but in that moment I was at work and I was feeling anxious. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling a lack of control of my life and of the life that I want to create for myself. And tears started rolling. My chest started beating fast, closing in. And I called my cousin to just like talk. Like, I need to talk to I need to talk. I couldn't get the words out. I needed to talk to somebody. And the first thing oh my God, I could get an emotion right now. But the first thing she said was, "Are you okay?" And my voice cracked. Like, I immediately, my eyes watered up, tears started falling down. I couldn't even, my voice cracked, my throat choked up, and I couldn't get it out. Like, I couldn't, that was it. It was like, okay, hang it up, you got it. Like, I couldn't get it out. And eventually I got it out and we talked, and it was like, she did help me in that moment, but my thing is, it's bigger than a temporary fix. What I go through on a reoccurring basis is bigger than, a quick, a quick talk, a quick advice, a quick help here and there, right? It's bigger than that. It's something that I don't know what exactly I need to do to combat this, because I realize it's been happening more and more on like clockwork. And so I'm just in a space where I don't know exactly what to do about it. And I'm not saying this to sound like pity me. Please don't. It's just I don't know. Like, I've done the work of, I will Google or even Instagram hashtag Houston therapist or life coach or whatever. And I would find some people that I would resonate with, like after reading their profile, I would email them, has a initial email to inquire about their services or whatnot. And then every time I do that, I never get a fucking response. I'm like, why is it so hard? People say, or Charlemagne the God says, invest in your mental health. Where? Like, first of all, it's really a journey. It's really a trial and error when it comes to that. Like, you have to first kind of shuffle out who fits well with your aura, who fits well with your personality. Not every therapist is the one for you. And that's that. Like, every therapist may be qualified, or every therapist you may come across may be qualified and have the credentials and all that, but the way they approach things may not be the way you need. You know, the way they speak to you, their tone may not be what works best for you, and now you got to start over again with someone new and see if it works out, you know? So it's that process that I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I just get in these funks. I'm just like, something has to give. Something has to, but I don't know what that something is. You know, oftentimes people will say, I had someone tell me, you know, you have to like speak positive, right? Speak positive over your life. Don't say things like, you know, if it's not one thing, it's the other, or if it's not this, it's that. Like, that's already saying something negative. Don't say that. Instead, say things with a tone or with the vocabulary of gratitude. And gosh, I get that, but I also want you to shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know, like, I am the not first person, but like, I am a believer in the power of the tongue and in the positive affirmations and in manifestation. Like, I totally believe all that goo gaga stuff. I do. But when I'm in a hysteria mode, when my palms get sweaty and my chest is tight and I'm thinking about a circumstance that I feel like I have no control over, me saying things like, love comes to me in abundance. What the fuck? It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. Like, it doesn't mean shit right now. What does that have to do with right now? Like, what does that have to fix with right now? And I'm not saying all this to kind of dismiss the value in affirmations, the value in speaking life, you know, not death. I get that, but I often think it's dismissive when people's advice is to just speak life or think positive thoughts, and life is good if you think it's good. Like, life is not, though. Like, life is, but then it's like not when you're not thinking that way, and it's not so easy to just shift your mindset into thinking differently. And that's why I would like to have a life coach who can assist me in shifting that mindset on a daily. Like, it's not something that I could do, you know, overnight and I'm good. It's just, I need fucking help. I sound like a basket case, and I'm not a basket case, or maybe I am when I'm by myself. Like, I don't like to show my emotion because I never want to feel like a burden. I never want to feel like I'm that friend who always got a problem or, you know, every time we link up, I'm always talking about me, and I'm never that friend. So I'm just very cautious of not being that friend or being that burden. Like, I always want to be that lighthearted, fun friend, and I've always been that friend. But then I realized when I am that friend, I'm saying friend a lot, but when I am that person, there's a lot of lighthearted relationships that I develop. And I want more than that. So I do want to create a space in my friendships where I can cry out and vice versa, and then not feel like I am a burden and vice versa, you know? I haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't know if I can get to that point, because there is that fear of being that person and being that, damn, every time I talk to Maxine, she gotta be on something. Like, I had, past tense, had a friend who always talked about herself. Like, damn, bitch, the fuck? Are you talking to me? Like, are we having a conversation, or are we just having a one-way type of talk? Like, what's up? But I had a friend who always talked about herself. Every time we linked up, every time we talk, whether it's through text, she'll do a quick, how you doing? But it'll be a how you doing, like, okay, I said how you doing. You know, you can't say I didn't say that. All right, let me talk about me, you know? And because I am, you know, appeasing and not quick to shut people down, I'm like, okay, well, let me hear and be that consoling person. You know, she abused that. But I had that friend who was that all the time, and it was exhausting. It was exhausting. And so I do fear being that friend to somebody else. And I don't think I'll ever be that friend to somebody else. I don't know. I just get nervous about that stuff. But I hated that shit. Anyway, I'm just saying this out loud. Hopefully, when I listen back, I would maybe, you know, a few episodes down the line, I would listen back to this episode or come across it somehow or remember I recorded this episode. And at that point, I would have a life coach, a therapist, someone who fits well with my energy and who could assist me in moments that I experience intense anxiety. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your day, you guys. I'm going to end it here. Thank you for tuning in. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud, and also leave a comment. God bless.